Are you gonna react to that absolutely awful Think Before You Sleep video? It's 2 hours! I can't do this. He just got mad at the criticism he was receiving. I can't do this. How people are being radicalized. And then we have, myself, Hassan, and Ludwig? The trifecta of communist radicalization. I'm kind of more interested in what Ludwig allegedly did than what I allegedly did.
How's it going, boys? Welcome back to Mogul Mail. In this video, we're going to talk about women. Stick around to the end because we're going to solve sexism in this video. Now, I haven't posted in a
Holy shit. What a king. I can't believe he solved sexism in this video. I guess we're all just catching up to him.
couple weeks because nothing's inspired me, but I saw a tweet from It's Timmy, the Apex Legends god and good friend of the stream, that said my clips were taken out of context in a video that invalidates and diminishes the experiences of women. And, you know, I was curious. So I clicked on the video and I watched what I can only call the Ocean's 8 of YouTube videos. Just a hot, stinking pile of garbage. And it is titled, How Feminist Ideas Make Everyone Weak.
I appreciate the compliments. Thanks. Also, did anyone notice—
Wait, is this literally just Think Before You Sleep getting mad that other people roasted him? Wait, is that it? Yes, that's it? Okay, gotcha. Wait, then why would this video be titled How People Are Being Radicalized and then have the three of us instead of being like these three meanies made fun of me?
Notice that he crapped on the all-female Ocean's 11 as a way of insulting me?
Oh yeah, this remember, this is the guy we watched the videos of him with the female dating coaches, where this guy was like insane incel bait, but then the women were also really bad. So we got this amazing feeling of getting to like switch protagonists back and forth. That was really, really good. I've never seen any of the Ocean's movies. I've heard some of them are pretty good. I just never have. Yeah, this guy covered the spousal swap wife thing as well. When there was the Black Jehovah's Witness family. God, that was weird. When you had like the crazy white Christian family where the wife was like forced to wear makeup and like have a butt plug in all day, and the black woman was the head of the household but also a Jehovah's Witness. How do you be a girl boss Black Jehovah's Witness? Whatever, I don't know. It was a firefighter captain. Okay, whatever. I don't know. There was a lot going on there.
Be careful, you wouldn't want to be labeled as a misogynist. So recently, a lot of creators who disagree with me have been reacting to my content. Normally,
I'm so sorry. We can't watch an hour 40 minutes, but I like how that's the opening argument in this massive fucking video. Wouldn't want to be sexist making fun of the movie with women. Like, why not? We'll be here all day.
11 as a way of insulting me? Be careful, you wouldn't want to be labeled as a misogynist. So recently, a lot of creators who disagree with me have been reacting to my content. Normally, I just kind of ignore this stuff because going back and forth between reactions like that movie Inception is annoying, and I don't find that kind of stuff entertaining. Particularly if there's no bigger narrative that's not just, this guy disagreed with me, let me tell you all the ways he's wrong. It just creates drama, and nobody really learns anything from it. But
wait, that's the format that he disagrees with? People disagreeing and explaining why he's wrong? Wait, I thought he was going to say, like, they disagree and they just make fun of me, or they make jokes, or they insult me, but like, the process of critique itself is the... I'm skipping around. F you guys.
On this channel, I talk. These creators reacted to a couple of videos of mine, but not so much.
My entire life is literally online. I literally wake up, hit the live button, go to, turn off the stream, go to bed.
Again, I understand if you don't like the main premise of the video, but there is no way that I said absolutely nothing that you agreed with. And personally, I am very careful to not portray people as 100% bad, even if I just give them one tiny point that's good. Simply saying I don't agree with the video instead of I don't agree at all.
What?
All right, if you're in an environment where saving techniques. I already had this behavior. A problem. They do.
It's a girl! Hello, fellow girl.
Hello.
How many times do you get mistaken for a little boy?
God damn it.
Oh, guys, here's a quick tip, okay? There's a wide, like, range of people, like a range of beliefs that people have when it comes to like feminism and women's rights, but there's actually like a process that you can put a person through that will instantly throw them to either side of the fence, like effortlessly, okay? And all you have to do is play any online competitive game that has voice chat with a woman, And that's all you have to do. And that experience will either make you the most misogynistic human being on Earth, or it'll make you an ardent militant feminist who stockpiles ammunition in preparation for the Great Gender War, okay? That's the only two things you can be. You can't be neutral after experiencing that.
Pretty often? I'm not the only one.
Spontaneous, just because you're annoyed by the question doesn't mean you get to be mean. These are different people.
I can't do this. I can't do this. He just got mad at the criticism he was receiving. I can't do this. Where do I come in? Let's go to where the good stuff is. Let's go to where I am, okay? My bombastic, incisive criticisms. Let's go. Oh my god, look how big I am. Look, it's when I have my little ear sock. Mischaracterize even the shit he does show, right?
Big self-report and projection from Vosh here. Austin here
Always.
is laughing and having fun at this silly cut experiment, while Chloe gets mad when he says something that she doesn't like. Now, Vosh is a professional. I shouldn't have to sit here and explain the context because his format is terrible and he wasn't paying attention. By the way, I'm not saying that you have to quit your job to be fair. I'm saying make a slight change. Just watch the video before you react to it on stream. You can double speed the video.
Pre-watch? This dirty piece of shit wants me to be a pre-watcher. I will never succumb to this man's degenerate recommendations, guys. Don't worry, I am pure. I will never fall.
And finish it in like 10 minutes. This is not that much work for an hour and
Nope.
16 minutes of content.
Nope.
But maybe that is too much to ask. After all,
is.
Vosh is so lazy that he does this.
I don't think we can ever trust the content of this video based on his description that he doesn't show, because he will, like, flagrantly lie about and mischaracterize even the shit he does show, right?
Big self-report and projection from Vosh here. I know
That's true, though. He was lying about stuff we were all looking at, so, like, yeah. You know, why would we trust his edits?
it's a lot of work, but if you watch the cut video, watch my video, and then watch Vosh's reaction, you'll see tons of times where he does exactly this to me. And it gets better. Here's the lazy part.
Wait, if you watch the cut video, watch my... Wait, why would you have to watch the cut video if I hadn't seen the cut video? Wait, I don't cut any of my footage. It's a live stream. This doesn't get edited like that. For all we know, in the original cut video, which I am not going to watch because I do not care. Like, everything that he doesn't show plays out way differently or whatever. But, you know, it's impossible to say. I don't care.
Vosh, the cut video is like 6 minutes.
Nope.
That's 3 minutes of your time if you
Nope.
speed it up.
Nope.
You didn't even have to look the video up because I linked it in the description.
Nope.
I couldn't have made it any easier for you, and this is not that much work to fact check. Yet Vosh will do his show and accuse me of taking people out of context when he didn't even watch the source material to verify if his statement was true or not. This is a horrible way to treat your opponents. Again, I couldn't have made it any easier for him to see if the clips were taken out of context or not. Really, he's just telling you.
So again, the only reason I said that while I was watching his thing is because this guy was being pretty dishonest about his portrayal of the content that he was showing in the edit that he presented in his own video. So I think it's reasonable to assume if a person's being kind of duplicitous about the stuff they're willing to show you, it's possible that some stuff got left in the cutting room floor and they can like edit around it to create whatever impression they want. The ability to edit is the ability to control people's perceptions of anything. Editing is incredibly powerful. I don't edit any of my stuff. Well, I mean, my editors edit for comedic effect and to cut gaps sometimes, but no content gets edited because this is all recorded live. It's all in the VODs, so, you know, there's not really anything to hide. So yeah. But I'm not going to go back and, like, check the cut video or whatever. Like, that's not... I don't care, you know.
You to not trust him when he says he does research. But I swear I almost got brain damage from how many times I had to facepalm from people saying, "Dude, Vosh destroyed you, bro." Like,
thanks, guys. You're doing good work out there. We're inflicting brain damage on this guy the same way he inflicts brain damage on others. The reciprocal, the back and forth, it's continuing.
like I said, half the video he's not even paying attention. The other parts he's using ad hominem attacks or name calling instead of making an argument. Then he accuses me of things I don't believe, followed by stepping on his own morals. Speaking of...
No, I'm sorry. Is this the fun of being like a high school bully? Is this like me like here laughing while this kid is like, he was mean? Like, is this the ultimate enjoy? Yeah, maybe this is why people are bullies. I don't know. But yeah, I said this before, Shoot, but it reminds me of Teal Deer, where he'll pause every like 8 nanoseconds on an Anita Sarkeesian video to like wildly misinterpret everything being said very arrogantly, you know?
Says the guy who paused a 25-second clip several times and for over an hour made up a bunch of things I didn't say.
True.
Another...
Unironically true, though. I can't argue against that one, you know? I'm one step above Teal Deer on in terms of the over pausing. I'll take that. That's true.
Self-report and projection from Vosh.
It's got me there.
That being said, now it's time to compliment Vosh. I have to admit that I had a certain idea of what his reaction was going to be, and it turned out that a part of that idea was wrong. I actually gained some respect for Vosh after watching this, because he did what really none of the other creators did. Vosh spent a lot of time pointing out parts where he agreed with me, and he wasn't subtle about it either. Here's one example of this. Tons of women out there are okay with dating a guy who is 2 or 3 inches shorter, which is within Austin's range. Everyone has those little gray areas of things they will accept that are outside of their preferences.
Okay.
What makes people go against their physical preferences? A person's personality.
This is true. People are way more judgy about physical gatekeeping when they don't know who the person is. But if you know who a person is and you like them and their personality, people are usually way more willing to be permissive of like different appearance things or whatever. That's totally true. Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I've watched so many videos of people reacting to me where they just say, absolutely nothing is good about this guy. He is a demon and you must hate him. So it was refreshing to see at least one of them give me some points, which softens up a lot of the bad faith framing that Vosh perpetrated in this video. I will say that if you want
to... I will say, by the way, this is one of the reasons why I do try to point out when I agree with somebody, because, like, I think indicating that you're capable of agreeing with the person suggests that in the instances where you disagree, it's being borne about by an actual disagreement rather than a principle, I will never agree with you no matter what type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you agree with the person on A but disagree on B, C, and D, you're indicating you're capable of agreeing and that B, C, and D didn't meet that threshold. Whereas if you disagree on everything, it could be the case that you have an impossible threshold and you'll just disagree, like, reflexively. I don't know if Think Before You Sleep saw my coverage of his video on the female dating coaches, but I feel like that one's got to be like a roller coaster ride for him if he does watch that, because, like, oh my god, because I started tearing into him, and then midway through the video we're like, wait, is this guy right in this one particular instance? You know what I mean? Is this the one time? I don't know how much of it is accidental, right? You know, a lot of his criticisms in that video were pointed. It's just I don't know if his prescriptions would be any better. You know what I mean? It would be like he would look at a female dating coach and he'd be like, this strategy doesn't work. This is weird and manipulative, and it would be kind of creepy to women. And then he's like, all right, now what you should actually do is get some chloroform. No, he doesn't say that. It's a back and forth. It's a lot of stuff. Oh, thank you, Linkard. You need to make up your bad faith deficit by screaming incel, incel while doing a Fortnite dance. Yeah, I don't like just yelling incel because I feel like that word has no meaning anymore, right? I feel like this guy, Think Before You Sleep, is a true blue incel, in the sense that his content genuinely does seem to be, like, majority about a sort of begrudging dislike of the effect that feminism has had on women in dating relations, and, like a whole bunch of stuff tied into that, you know? But a lot of people, like, will throw incel out at just regular misogynists, and I don't know if that's necessarily... It seems like it kind of muddies the waters a little bit. I don't know. He calls himself a Volcel, but he's in denial. Oh, they all call themselves Volcels in denial.
A lot of examples of Vosh giving points to an opponent. Then the other video of mine he reacted to about the hot ape lady and Marnie Kinrys is a better example. He agrees with me a lot in that video. I still have issues with him because he constantly argues in bad faith, but credit where credit is due. He gave his audience a chance to see me in a good light, which leads to less radicalization, and I appreciate that.
Okay, wait. So wait, that means he's going to watch this video as well. Okay, my guy. So I think it's fair to call what I do radicalization, because I am literally a political radical. So I'm not going to begrudge that necessarily. I'm not going to, like, pretend that I'm offended at the idea of what I do being referred to as radicalization, because it totally is. But you are too. Like, this is very much the pot calling the kettle black here. We're both doing that. We're just doing it in different directions. You're an anti-feminist and probably a lot of other stuff, and I'm a communist. We're just pushing in different directions, you know. But I don't think the degree of radicalization, I don't think, is necessarily tied to my willingness to give credit when I feel like you've made a good point. You could argue it's less propagandistic, but even then, I think you could fairly counter-argue that my propaganda, and what I do is propagandistic, by the way. Of course that's true. Yeah, I produce media for the purpose of convincing people. I don't think it's dishonest propaganda. Propaganda often has the connotation of dishonesty, but it doesn't necessarily have to have it. We all propagandize to an extent. But you could actually argue my propaganda is more effective because I'm willing to give credit sometimes, because it makes me look like I'm more fair-minded, which I'd like to think that I am. You know, it's not insincere. At least I'd like to think it's not insincere, blah, blah, you know. But my point is, like, this isn't like a radicalization thing. This is just like differing ideologies and the extent to which we're willing to be honest and able to be correct in pushing for those ideologies. You guys get what I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Speaking of him reacting to the Hot 8 video where I talked about dating coaches who give terrible advice, here's something that I thought was funny, which is completely missing the point when it comes to people who actually need this product.
Oh no, wait, he's correct about this as well. The framework that she's laying out can be useful in some circumstances, but there are underlying levels of charisma that you need to have mastered before any of this can work.
Oh no. Oh, God. I wonder if I would have been more charitable to him from the beginning if I had known more about her.
Yes, you would have. That's my point. I mean, you're a professional. Do some
That's probably true.
prep work and research before your show.
Nope. Absolutely not. It's a live stream format. I just watch videos as I watch them, you know. I would argue that it's this guy's responsibility. If I would argue that it's this guy's responsibility to construct his videos in a way that make it clear, like, the subject of his behavior to begin with. So, like, an example would be, imagine if there was a video essay being made on, like, a really obscure e-celebrity who you wouldn't know about unless, like, you had some special knowledge, and the first 15 minutes of the video was just trashing her. Like, like, this stupid fucking bitch, this piece of shit. And you're watching going like, what the fuck is this video? And then at the 16-minute mark, it's revealed that the person who's been referred to this entire time is like a serial murderer and rape. And then you're like, oh, well, if I had known that, I would have, the first 15 minutes would have made more sense to me, you know? The issue is that a lot of this guy's behavior and arguments and rhetoric stem just flat out from misogyny. We talked about that plenty in the video. Like, this guy and his audience are misogynistic in an extreme sense. There's an innate distrust of women going on here. So I feel like he doesn't have to make his videos with that priming because the audience is pre-primed. The audience goes in there with a pre-existing distrust of women giving dating advice, whereas I don't. So I wasn't willing to treat his arguments the same way. But yeah, like, I think that, if anything, the fact that he's levying this criticism makes me feel like he might be in a bit of a bubble. You know what I mean? You get what I mean, right? Like he may believe that he sufficiently primed that info, but it just didn't feel that way. I mean, you can watch the video if you want, you know. But yeah, I can't pre-watch everything because I'm not going to pre-watch anything. You know, it's just not how I do things.
Get to know someone before you speak about them in front of an audience. Now, just for transparency, I did cut that clip short because I wanted people to focus specifically on that part. He immediately takes the comment back and calls me a name. All right, as I begin to wrap this video up, I want to go over what I believe Vosh felt his strongest argument against me was. This was kind of difficult because there was no clear-cut moment where it was like, man, you got me, like Hassan and Ludwig did with the Timmy clip. Most of Vosh's arguments were insults, projections, him saying things that I didn't say, him stepping on his morals, and him constantly...
Wait, what is this? This is the second time he said stepping on his morals. What does that mean? What is that? What are we referring to there? I don't know what that means. Does he mean that I said bitch? What morals does he think I have that I'm...
showing that he wasn't paying attention. So I don't feel like there was a strong gotcha moment from Vosh in his reactions, but what I will do is have him explain why he doesn't like my channel.
The incel stuff, like all of the related political points, touch on real issues, but then the people pick up on them with, like, absolutely batshit advocacy, right? Like, there is real stuff to be said about male loneliness and about unfair judgment towards men's appearances and towards dating apps and towards, like, all this crap, you know? And then they pick it up and they're just insane about it, you know?
Strange, because that's my exact problem with feminism. That's also the problem I had with the Vice and the BBC documentaries. They said the issue was that women aren't winning esports tournaments. And yeah, I can agree that's a problem. If there are women who want to win and they aren't winning, that's an issue. Which is why I spent 15 minutes of that video talking about how to develop the kind of skill required to be a success in a super competitive market. A lot of women watched that video and understood that. But what the BBC said was batshit crazy.
There's mixed views about how to encourage more women into esports. One idea that's been trialled by Formula One esports this year is to guarantee a female player a spot in high-profile tournaments.
They said that if women aren't winning, then we should give them a top spot even if they didn't earn it. That idea is called affirmative action. This kind of thinking is a very common belief.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. First of all, they just said one idea. That's just one guy saying one idea. Did they implement it? Second of all, that's not what affirmative action is. Affirmative action doesn't refer to competitive tournaments. Affirmative action can refer to a broad set of policies that might prioritize or give equal preference to a variety of characteristics or determiners associated with demographic identity. What? Dude, what? I thought they said F1 had tried it out. Did they say F1 had tried it out? Wait, is that even an esport? They said esport, didn't they? Is that an esport? F1 esport is a thing? Oh, the game F1? Wait, are these video game graphics? Is this a video game?
Profile tournaments.
They said that if...
Wait, is that a
into esports. One idea that's been trialled by Formula One esports this year.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah, sorry, they said esports. I just didn't recognize that because I thought I was looking at real-life footage. That is insane. Why is it that racing games are always, like, 10 years ahead of the pack when it comes to graphics? I guess they only have to render, like, the one map? I don't know. Or, like, the one little thing? Yeah, I don't know. I guess my question here would be, what is this dude's solution here to the whole women esports thing? It's kind of noteworthy that he seems to believe the problem with women getting into esports is developing the skills necessary to succeed in esports, you know? Because when people in esports talk about sexism in the industry, it usually... The impression that I get is usually that there are a bunch of institutional and cultural barriers that make it difficult for women to participate. And that's what hampers their skill. Not literally that, like, women aren't skilled enough. You know what I mean?
Is to guarantee a female player a spot in high-profile tournaments.
They said that if women aren't winning, then we should give them a top spot even if they didn't earn it. That idea is called affirmative action. This kind of thinking is a very common belief of the left. It's present everywhere, and it's screwing up society. The first thing it does is immediately piss off the people who were qualified but didn't get the position because they were born into the wrong sex or race.
So, again, like, this is one of the reasons that this guy gives me massive incel vibes. It's because everything this guy says about the real world comes from things he's heard online about the real world, not from, like, knowing about the real world. Affirmative action is screwing everything up because it pisses off people who aren't in the right... Like, this is like headline blotter, you know? This isn't a reflection of the actual socioeconomic issue. And affirmative action's a really complicated and really, really nuanced, you know, group of policies. So to lean back and go like, oh, well, first of all, you know, like this lefty attitude's destroying everything. It strikes me as somebody who doesn't really have an ability to participate in the conversation outside of reiterating bumper sticker taglines. It's not like... It doesn't reflect a genuine understanding of the situation.
That's why I say that affirmative action is a divide and conquer strategy from the media and politicians to make people hate each other so they don't pay attention to all the evil things that the media and politicians are doing.
And stuff like this. Which is, again, like batshit insane conspiracy, bumper sticker rhetoric. You know what I mean? Yeah, affirmative action being advocated for by, like, local civil rights organizers, social workers, and lefty politicians is being advocated for on behalf of giant corporations and banks to get people mad at each other so they don't notice climate change? What the fuck? Like, yeah, okay.
Second, you will really, really screw things up when you hire based on race and gender instead of how qualified the person is for the job. That will collapse society.
See, notice how we were talking about giving one woman a spot in a tournament seed, and now we're talking about, like, so, okay, oh god, there's so much shit to tune into. Okay, I really hope you watch this video. I'm going to take this seriously and not just make fun of this, okay? First of all, if you want to talk about politics, like, I don't know how old the person who runs this channel is, but you have to dial it back down a bit, okay? not everything is an apocalypse because you heard about it on Facebook or Twitter, all right? The idea, like using language like this, collapse society, ruin everything, indicates that you don't actually have a mature adult-like understanding of the factors at play. You only know that things are good or bad, and when things are bad, you turn everything up to 11 because the rhetoric of the internet has conditioned you to not care about anything that's not framed as an emergency. It's like it's like the adult internet equivalent of like a child talking about how they would rather die than like do their homework or something. Like you don't have an understanding of the threat levels involved. Second of all, companies do hire based on merit. You seriously think that corporations or people like corporations, like these evil, heartless entities that like rely solely on the bottom line, are seriously going to compromise their profit motive by not like putting their thumb on the scale of any system that would allow them to have the most ruthless and effective employees? Like, get real. That's absolutely ridiculous. Affirmative action, generally speaking, when it refers to corporations, just refers to a set of guidelines and policies that dictate like basic hiring behaviors and usually lead to some kind of like corporate or governmental scrutiny if there's a massive displacement or bias in the ethnic or gender representation in an industry. But even then, like, that doesn't always get acted upon. It's just something to look at. It's a metric. Sometimes you have affirmative action policies, which means that if you have like underrepresentation of black people in a given industry and you have two equally qualified candidates, they choose the black one instead of the non-black one. And there are arguments for that that do make a lot of sense if you think about like the trials that one would have to overcome on average in order to reach a comparable point a more privileged person can reach. Yeah. The idea that any of this is ruining the world or whatever is just ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. All this does is reveal a kind of embittered whininess on the part of the person who made this video. The idea that like things are the way they are for a reason and like everything would be best if we just left it up to meritocracy, but these crazy feminists are ruining everything with their, you know, wacky egalitarian, you know, equity-based ideas. And also, what's the channel? Is the channel Don't Think Before You Sleep? Or, yeah, Think Before You Sleep. That's right. Not Don't Think Before You Sleep. That's actually the opposite. The other critical thing here is, like, you have to understand, I know you don't have any solutions to any of these problems because you don't have a strong understanding of these issues, but the problem of, like, disproportionate representation of certain groups in media and in culture and in business and in the government, it's a pretty big one, and it's all over the world. And it's a really difficult problem to solve. Earlier, you said that like a solution to not having enough women in esports would be just giving them the skills to succeed, but that paternalistically assumes the issue at hand is that women aren't good enough rather than there aren't walls preventing them from getting good enough, you know? You have to break down the walls. It would be like, to use an extreme example, it'd be like in apartheid South Africa or like Jim Crow South being like, well, why are so few black people getting hired at these businesses, you know? We're here to train black people to have the skills, and that's how we'll solve it. You know, like there's nothing wrong with like training or vocational education or anything like that. But like there are institutional problems that are being missed. We don't live in a society that is as openly discriminatory as the Jim Crow South or apartheid South Africa or whatever else. But we do live in a society that is still marked deeply by scars of previous open external legal bias, which leads to socioeconomic differences on average between different groups. Those socioeconomic differences then lead to different average experiential educational systems where black and white people on average have very different average, I keep saying average, levels of educational attainment because of the zip codes that they're born into as a product of redlining. Stuff like this takes a long time to dissipate. So I guess what I'm saying at the end of the day is if you're going to talk about affirmative action, first of all, don't use ridiculous, hyperbolic, over-the-top, alarmist language because it's childish and incorrect. And two, you can't talk shit about it unless you have a better solution because it's trying to solve a real issue here. To be honest, if your aim was actually to talk to the guy you missed your mark hard with your you don't know what you're talking about, you dumb child rhetoric, if he's so much of a pussy that he can sit... If this guy sat through my 2-hour videos making fun of him, he can sit through this. Also, yeah, I don't know. If you know, if he's willing to make videos like this, but like not listen to criticism because it's framed in the way that I framed it, then I don't think there's much of a point in doing any of this outside of the benefit it has for my audience.
It's certainly collapsing Hollywood. How many crappy movies have we had to suffer?
Oh my god. Okay. Headline brain.
Through because of the diversity hiring that leads to nobody knowing what they're doing and because those people care more about the agenda than making content people want to see.
Literally, like, what does this mean? All the Star Wars sequel movies made billions of dollars. What is he referring to? Like, he's just vaguely gesturing at media projects that involve thousands of people and going, you see, these sucked because of woke politics. Like, this is literally just like headline brain.
I don't think there's any bigger evidence that these programs don't work than watching tons of Hollywood movies tank. So
what? So listen to the non-falsifiability of his arguments. I don't think there's any better proof that these arguments work than seeing Hollywood movies tank. Hollywood movies have always tanked. Does he think that every movie that came out of Hollywood did well before, like, 2014? What is it? What does he think? Like, there's no better evidence that the woke agenda is failing than the sun continuing to rise in the morning. What is he referring to here? All movies did well before second wave feminism happened.
Vosh makes a lot of assumptions. I think it's fine to make assumptions.
I know you do. That's why you just assumed that evidence of woke bad can be found in the fact that not all Hollywood movies do well.
The big problem I have with Vosh, though, is that he makes very little effort to make sure his assumptions are correct, so a lot of them end up being completely wrong.
Okay. The difference, think before you sleep, is that when I make assumptions that turn out to be incorrect, it's because I'm watching a video for the first time. And when you make assumptions that are incorrect, it's in an edited video where you're making claims about the world as though you do have knowledge on them. It's the difference between being wrong in a prediction and being wrong in an assertion. You understand that, right? Whenever I'm referring to the content of a video I haven't finished watching, I'm implicitly making a prediction about its future content. You're talking about things that can be checked now. You're commenting on things that have happened. You have thought about this.
As far as I can see, Vosh didn't actually spell out what my insane solutions to the problem were. Because of that, I'm going to have to make an assumption on what Vosh thinks I believe, based on things he said in this video. I think this is most indicative of how he characterizes me.
This channel is to get angry at women existing. Like, nothing in this channel makes sense at all. Like, it's completely disconnected from reality, unless you have a pre-existing hatred of women, in which case everything here just exists to make you go like, like, get really completely true. Literally true. If you look at this guy's videos too, a ton of it is like, look at this fat bitch who was mean to a guy in a video. This is why feminism sucks. What it's like to marry a woke woman, how feminist ideas make everyone plus-sized model claims she's anorexic, why men don't take dating advice. Feminists are now complaining about the they created, how they established like 16-year-old single mother with 2 children. The reason why men aren't getting married. A ton of these videos are just like, look at this one unpleasant woman. This is why we need to return to tradition. He's seethingly angry at it, you know?
Guess what, Vosh? It turns out that my content appeals to lots of women. Here's my audience.
Oh, wait, hold on. Women hate women. I don't know what that has to do with anything.
Metrics for the past 28 days, ending the day before Ludwig made his reaction video. About 20% of my audience is female here, and typically my female audience is around 15 to 20%. That's incredibly high considering that my content is marketed primarily to things that men care about. Even still, tons of...
It is actually true, no. 2080 is a surprising amount of women. I'm pretty sure that mine's around that ballpark, too.
Women watch this channel and agree with me. So you're wrong, Vosh, and so are all the other people who said...
Wait, women can hate women. Wait, hold on. What's with this weird assumption? The idea this channel can't be primarily about hating women because women are on it is not a valid supposition here. Tons of women hate women. Have you ever heard of pick-me's? They're all over the place. Look at this graph proving woke movies are better. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Annual average critic scores for wide releases. Film shown at least 1,000 theaters. Oh, God. The woke movies are getting better. Oh, my God. Look at this. After 2014, when woke people were discovered and finally called out on their evil machinations, that's when the increase really went up. Oh, shit. Woke movies going up?
Said that my channel only appeals to men. Now here's why I'm going to make the assumption of what Vosh thinks I believe. Multiple times Vosh has characterized me as like a basement-dwelling incel who has never talked to a girl before and sits on Reddit all day.
Oh, fuck. Is he going to talk about how he has talked to... Oh, God, please provide the counter. I'm ready.
Personally, I don't have any involvement with that community, so I don't understand their beliefs all that well, but I have heard things over the years. I'm assuming that Vosh believes that I agree with the people who say repeal the 19th Amendment.
Setting the bar a little bit low here, aren't we? Ah, you think I'm a misogynist, huh? I bet you think that I literally want the Handmaid's Tale to happen, huh? Well, you're wrong. I'm exonerated.
And this is why you need to actually watch people's content uninterrupted before you make tons of assumptions about them.
Wait, then why are you making an assumption about me thinking you want to repeal the 19th? I've just said you're a misogynist. What? He's like, so Vosh has said that I'm a misogynist. From this, I assume he means this other thing, and since this other thing is wrong, I guess he should go back to the books. Oh, do you think he sounds like the number 15 Burger King foot lettuce? A little bit? A little bit, yeah.
Over the years, I've said many times that the idea that women's suffrage should be removed or their rights should be taken away is completely stupid.
Okay.
Not only is it stupid, it's abusive. No taxation without representation.
Okay.
That applies to women, too. No
Okay.
taxation without representation is a core principle to the founding of America, and people shouldn't be removed from that because they weren't born the right gender. Second, I've heard a lot of these Reddit people say, I found some psychologist with 5 moral principles and he says women are immoral. That is also dumb. If men and women in general follow different moral patterns, it's probably that way for a reason.
What? 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 Wait.
With 5 moral principles, and he says women are... These Reddit shouldn't be removed from that because they weren't born the right gender. Second, I've heard a lot of these Reddit people say, I found some psychologist with 5 moral principles and he says women are immoral. That is also dumb. If men and women in general follow different moral patterns, it's probably that way for a reason. For example, when women reject guys, they rarely say, I don't want to go out with you because I don't like you. Most of the time, they are indirect and say things like, I'm busy that day, I'm not really interested in that kind of activity, or I have a boyfriend. Generally, women won't directly say they don't like you, at least when they're in person. Why? Because there's a strength disparity between men and women. If she rejects you and you turn out to be insane, then she's in danger. Think of how many requests women get. Just one of those has to go wrong for her to be in a bad situation.
Yeah, yes, that's true. I don't disagree. This isn't different moral principles, though. This is just different behavior. It's not... you can have a man and a woman can have the same moral presuppositions and respond differently. No, guys, he's completely correct here.
So you're damn right girls are going to be indirect. All right, enough assumptions. Let me go with things that Vosh actually said.
Yeah, wait, what was this about repealing the 19th? I didn't claim any of that.
I made a video talking about female dating coaches that said you shouldn't take their advice, primarily because they don't have any actual experience attracting other women. During the video, Vosh says this.
I like the implication that male dating coaches have a sterling reputation as... Because all the shit that my audience, are making fun of that woman for is because she's doing the same thing that a lot of male pickup artists do. I want this guy to review pickup artists that he likes. That's what I want to say.
Actually, I don't like any male pickup artists, so I agree with you, and I mean...
Then why would you make a video on female dating coaches specifically if you don't like any dating coaches? Why men don't take dating advice from women. But if you don't like any dating coaches, why would you frame this video around the problem with women giving men dating advice if you don't like any dating coaches? Like, doesn't that kind of give the impression that the bait for this video, the content, is supposed to needlessly appeal to a kind of antagonism towards women, even if the criticisms that you've made here would be ubiquitous? You know? A little bit?
I strongly agree. All of the male PUAs I've seen are trash. Now, I'm sure that there are 1 or 2 moral PUAs out there who aren't bad people. A broken clock is right twice a day, but the vast majority of them are really awful, like the people from Real Social Dynamics. I believe Owen Cook is a drug addict whose irresponsible behavior led to an unplanned pregnancy. What about the stuff that Julian Blanc did? Outside of Real Social Dynamics, what about the godfather of pickup Neil Strauss cheating on his wife? Now, Simple Pickup did pretty well on YouTube for a while, but they all ended up screwing each other over years later. How about more recent PUAs like Fresh and Fit? Fresh and Fit were all for free speech until people started pointing out that Fresh Prince CEO wasn't that good at talking to women. Then they felt the need to abuse DMCA to censor opinions.
Oh yeah, I think I actually saw this. Can anyone pull up this video? Wait, hold on. I saw, okay, Fresh and Fit, it's like the two dudes are super misogynistic. There are a couple of clips of them getting absolutely trashed by female guests sometimes. They're like, unapologetically misogynistic. Like, they'll have a woman on, they'll just be like, yeah, you should just, like, suck dick and shut the fuck up. You know, like that kind of thing. Yeah, I do like how his criticism of Fresh and Fit has more to do with the incompetence of the host. Listen, if you're a pickup artist, the last thing you ever want to do, ever, is have people record you talking to women, because these people are 100% about talking to men, about how they're good at talking to women, okay? People who are good at talking to men about how they're good at talking to women are not the same as people who are good at talking to women. It's a very different market. Generally, people who are very confident and, like, relaxed and laid back with their interactions with women are not the kind of people who are going to make this gigantic, like, career out of jerking themselves off over how confidently misogynistic they are to an audience of hundreds of thousands of preteen men.
Wasn't that good at talking to women. Then they felt the need to abuse DMCA to censor opinions they didn't like. Fortunately, those...
Watch this clip. This isn't the same clip, Merrick. Why would you do this? Why would you abuse my trust in you? Having props at the ready to make honor-killing jokes about your female guy.
Religion. It didn't work out.
Oh, what was he and what were you? Are you Christian or Catholic?
I was raised Catholic, but
Okay.
I'm spiritual. He's Muslim. Oh, you. What?
Someone said something about a Muslim and divorcing him?
No.
All right, the honor killings will commence after the show. So, okay, so you wanted her to be free.
I'm free.
All right, the honor killings will commence after the show, guys. Don't worry. I already got she's been lying about her virginity, so I got her.
Oh my
and
God.
then I got her as well.
Yeah.
What caused the divorce?
Religion.
The main thing that offends me about this clip is mostly how unfunny it is. Aren't the Fresh and Fit guys, like, loaded? Look at the production value on this setup. Why the fuck is everything here so awkward? Why is everything here so cringe? Like, I don't like Joe Rogan or anything, but credit where credit's due. That guy projects the vibe of his environment perfectly. When you're watching the JRE, you're watching the JRE. He has an aura of Joe Rogan around him that Joe Roganifies everything in his presence. I don't think I've ever watched a Joe Rogan podcast bit that was, like, awkward and painful to watch because of the presence of the people there. You know what I mean? Maybe awkward and painful to watch for other reasons, but not because of the presence there. But this is just, like, they're just, like, all, like, they're on these little benches. They're like, okay, and they're all, like, yeah. All right, okay, whatever. We're getting distracted.
DMCA claims failed. Here's something interesting. On their High Value Academy website, they have this one note where it says Fresh has slept with over 1,000 women. No way that guy has slept with that many women unless he's paying the girls. Oh, and one last thing to emphasize. Myron frequently says that it's okay for men to cheat on women, but it's not okay for women to cheat on men. That's the same kind of double standard that I...
True, brother. True.
...criticize feminism for. Full disclosure.
Okay, first of all, again, if you have a deep and seething hatred for all these male pickup artists too, the video Why Men Don't Take Dating Advice from Women was loaded with women-specific criticisms of dating advice given. You're making my point for me. Like, the fact that you don't like any pickup artists because they all engage in behavior like this perfectly iterates the point that I made in my video, which is that you're giving shit to the female dating coaches for the same stuff male dating coaches do, but just not talking about it as though it's a broad issue. You're talking about it like it's a woman's issue, you know? Also, I don't think feminism says it's okay to cheat on men but not on women. I don't think.
Closure. I have watched some of their content in the past and reacted to some of their videos because I had some hope that they were a new generation of PUA and weren't like the old generation.
Oh,
but as
God.
time went on, I found out that they weren't much different from the old PUAs, and I immediately removed the reaction videos I made on their content. Oh, and by the way,
I wonder if there's a problem with pickup artistry in general. If you can't name anyone that you like from the pickup artist community, if you just have nothing but criticism for the entire medium, I wonder if it's just bad in... And by the way, it is bad, okay? I'm telling you guys, and it's 100% true. If you have the stones to overcome the sheer embarrassment of looking to pickup artists for advice, you have the stones to overcome any charisma-based issue you're having interpersonally, all right? If you have the strength to overcome the innate biological disdain that all humans are born with for giving money to or listening to pickup artists, then you're capable of anything, brother. You can do whatever the hell you want. You're strong, okay?
I got rid of those videos even though they were still getting tons of views and making me money. One more assumption from Vosh.
But no, that reinforces my point, not your... okay. Anywhere in any of this guy's videos, when just sort of incidentally using examples of behaviors, he has a positive example from a woman. Like, it's very obvious that the only reason we're supposed to feel this way about these interactions is because the woman's a woman, the guy's a guy, right? Like, there's no fucking way this guy would ever pull out, like, a contrary example.
Wrong again.
So, the context to that one is that we'd watched, like, a good bit of this guy's content, and, like, guys, how many times in a row was, hey, here's a random example of bad behavior, woman. Here's a random example of good behavior, man. Like in all of his videos, right? Like in the one where they did the wife swap, for example, like it was nonstop. Like if the mom did, like if the dad did something bad, it was the mom's fault. And if the mom did something bad, it was the mom's fault, like constantly. Now, obviously, if we're going by the literal, this man has never said anything bad or good about a woman once, then yeah, he's about to epically own me. But nah, in the content we watched, man, holy shit, he was really reaching for those examples.
And if you watched more than 2 of my videos, you would know that's not true.
Why do I have to watch more than 2 videos to find examples of you complimenting women in videos where you compliment men nonstop? Why would I need to experience multiple videos for this statistically improbable trend to break? Why, like, all these videos are like 20 to 30 minutes, you know, like, you have to watch like 5 before there's a more than 50% chance of a compliment being given to a woman sometime across? Like, Jesus.
I actually hesitated in using that example in that particular video he is reacting to because it was a guy looking good and a woman looking bad. I hesitated because I knew someone like Vosh would come along and wrongly insinuate that I purposefully picked that example because of sexism, when in reality, I am begging for situations like that to be the other way around.
Doesn't this kind of make my argument for me? If I'm like, hey, this dude sure does keep finding excuses to attack women and compliment men, and his response is, well, you need to watch, like, at least 4 or 5 videos before you can say that, you know?
Because I actively go out of my way to show women doing good things all the time. And I do that because I think it's abusive to say that people can only do things that are wrong. So I'll often try to say positive things about the people I'm criticizing if I can catch them doing something good. And yes, I also show women who I think are positive role models. Here are 2 fairly recent videos that I made about women who I think are amazing. The first is Jeanette McCurdy, who suffered a pretty traumatic childhood, but now uses that experience and her social media presence to promote awareness for mental health. She's a recovered...
For anyone who's watched this video for some reason, just out of curiosity, first of all, yeah, we're pulling videos from, like, half a year ago, but is this person only in this video to be juxtaposed against another woman who is bad? So we have a good woman here, but is she a good woman because there's a bad woman in this video? She's being used as a frame of reference to attack the bad woman?
Recovered and experience amazing. The first is Jeanette McCurdy, who suffered a pretty traumatic childhood.
Let's find out. Just curious. Abusers pretending to be victims with a woman with devil horns staring at the poor most famous chef in the world. The poor old... Even I know this one. This is the crazy restaurant lady. Yeah. The Ann's Bakery. Yeah. That lady was psychotic. Why do you think this guy keeps finding excuses to have psychotic women on? There are lots of psychotic men. There are psychotic people all over the world. Why are so many of these videos excuses? Even, like, here, why men don't take dating advice from women. Apparently, he doesn't like dating advice from pickup artists at all. So, why is this a woman thing? The husband here was also psychotic, but he's in the background. The woman has the devil horns. Why isn't the husband and the wife standing together? Like, it's very obvious where the framing is, you know? Okay, so anyway, here's the video that has the good woman who gets complimented. Okay?
My eating disorder was sadly a way that I was coping with the challenges of life.
So getting rid of the eating disorder meant that I was now just coping with the challenges of life. It's not that the challenges of life went away, you know?
It seems like they are talking about the struggles of overcoming an ED. Yeah, this is the same person, right? Okay.
Had interesting things to say, not because I was...
Oh my God.
And she can remove herself from pathological behaviors and situations that aren't good for her.
Yeah, you know, actually, saying it now, I also think that quitting acting was hugely instrumental. Like, I needed that for my mental health, and I needed that for my own self-growth. And I think walking away from that, well, I mean...
The bad woman is the plus-size model. Yes, I know that the bad woman is the unattractive woman, and the good woman is the attractive woman. I know how this framing works. I've been alive for more than 3 days. I'm just trying to find the point in the video, because I know there is a point in this video where he says, now here's an example of a good attitude towards eating disorders, and the only reason this woman will be here is to be contrasted against the bad one.
Yeah, because people just look at me and they're like, oh, just go eat another Big Mac. And I'm like, baby, I just had my first Big Mac a month ago.
But they make these assumptions.
Yes, they make these assumptions that I am not taking care of my body in the way that I feel is best.
You may have never eaten a Big Mac until you were in your 30s, but there is plenty of evidence of you eating all kinds of junk food. You think that's what's best for you?
Wait, I'm sorry. I just realized this video is retarded. Plus-size model claims she's anorexic? Wait, there are plenty of fat anorexic people. Eventually, being anorexic will probably make you skinny, but you can start being anorexic when you're... Okay, whatever. I don't, like... There's nothing contradictory in this title in the slightest. Yeah, we said that last time. Sorry.
Seriously, Tess, would you just get treatment for your addiction instead of constantly denying that you're unable to control how much you eat? You and all the other addicts would be...
A normal video, more than 500,000 views. This is a fat woman online. When will you learn? When will you get over yourself? Get help! Screaming at the computer.
Amazed to know how quickly you can turn your entire life around once you admit that you have a problem. If you learn to self-criticize and self-improve, in 2 or 3 years' time, you can put yourself in a completely different place.
Oh no.
By the way...
Oh no. Is that the framing? Hey, stupid fat woman, get over yourself. Learn reality. If you did better, then you could get better. By the way, I see looking at the upcoming thumbnail.
That's true for a lot of things, not just addiction. Yes, if you have an addiction, recovery is hard work, but it is possible. The reason it's hard work is something that I think Tess and a lot of other people are avoiding. Here is Jeanette talking about what she went through during her anorexia recovery.
I thought once I went...
Yep, I was completely 100% correct. This woman is put in the video to be juxtaposed against a bad woman. That is the reason why there is a good woman in this video. Because it is more thematically sensible, if you're selling misogyny, to have an ugly fat woman contrasted against a pretty skinny woman, than it is simply to attack the fat woman on her own grounds. You can argue against me and say this doesn't invalidate the idea that she's being thought of positively, and it's true, she probably is in this video, but I called it right on the money.
But now uses that experience and her social media presence to promote awareness for mental health. She's
not even ugly, she's just fat. People consider being super fat being ugly. Like, kind of rolls into itself.
A recovered anorexic, so her advice on overcoming addiction is really solid, and it comes from personal experience.
I'm rambling because I care very much about, like, helping in any way that I can people with eating disorders. I just think there's such a waste of time. I think they take so much potential out of people, and it's like heartbreaking to me that there's all these people out...
Isn't that cultural and societal? All standards of ugliness are cultural and societal.
...out there who could be...
Is that Sam from iCarly? Wait, holy shit, this does look a lot like Sam from iCarly. Wait, is this literally her? Wait, is this actually... Oh, shit! Huh. How'd you not know? I haven't watched iCarly in... let me just brain blast to 2006. She was horribly abused by Dan Schneider. Yeah, I know about the Dan Schneider thing. Okay.
Be so much more, but they're just wasting their time on this addiction that's like defeating that. It's just, it's so bothersome.
What people don't know is that I heard about Jeanette's story way before that video with her in it, and I waited close to a year to find something that was relevant to her so I could put her in a video as a positive example. The second...
Oh my god. I found an example of a woman that I wanted to compliment, but I had to wait a year to find a bad woman to put her in to juxtapose. I had a good woman, but there needed to be a bad woman. Holy shit. God, this guy's like a fucking projector, man. Holy shit. I don't think this dude's dishonest at all. I just think he's easier to read than he thinks he is.
Video I made was about Lacey Green. That video did pretty well, but I wish it had done better because I wanted more people to see what she did. Years ago, Lacey tried to repair the divide between feminists and anti-feminists by opening up
Yeah, thank you, Lacey.
a conversation with Sargon of Akkad. The crazy thing here is that she was the one who was wronged in her battle with Sargon, yet she was brave enough to initiate a dialogue with him to repair their relationship. While the anti-feminist crowd really appreciated that, unfortunately, the feminist crowd flipped out, started harassing her.
I wonder why the feminist crowd wouldn't appreciate it if somebody who they consider to be a representative of their interests started palling around with and trying to make amends with anti-feminists and people who are now fascists. Probably were fascists back then, but... What's the story with Lacey Green? I don't know, and I don't care. That memory has left my brain. It's Lacey fucking Green, okay? My brain has downshifted. This is no longer relevant to my day-to-day info. I have jettisoned that memory. It's out of my brain. I do not care anymore. It's old internet history.
Made up lies about her, and she lost a lot of friends. Feminists have a tendency to be incredibly intolerant of differing opinions. That's why I'm...
Well, like anti-feminism, yes. Feminists probably would be fairly intolerant of anti-feminism. I can only imagine why.
Critical of modern feminism.
I really value loyalty. I'm a very loyal person, and I find more of my...
I forgot this happened.
Politically, I find more of my moderate to right-leaning friends are, at the end of the day, even if they think I'm like a crazy nut job liberal or whatever,
right,
they aren't going to just up and leave me and, stop talking to me like many of my liberal friends have. I've never been abandoned by my right-wing friends over my views, but left-wing, absolutely.
Here's the thing, though. Both of these women are on the opposing political...
So, we did it. We went back nearly a year in the video logs, and we found 2 examples of women being framed positively. One of them being Lacey Green, who was like the fucking ground zero culture war discourse of 2016, and is being framed positively because she was charitable to anti-feminists. And the other one being an old series of interviews, where the fucking iCarly actress is being framed positively in juxtaposition to the evil, bad, fat positive lady. And even that one he admits he sat on for a while before using it because he had to find a bad woman to juxtapose her against. Guys, is this not like too easy? Is this, do you understand how the gift of prophecy wanes at my attention span? No wonder I have ADHD, you know? How am I supposed to pay attention? Like... God.
Political side. We are not on the same team. Lacey and I definitely disagree on a lot of stuff, but it's her actions, not her beliefs, that make her a good person. I'm pretty sure that Jeanette is also on the left, and I still said good things about her. Why can't these people reacting to me do that? Why do I so often see people like Hassan saying things like this?
Okay, it might be GG's for these homies because, they make money off of it, and it's like really hard to come back from that. That's why I really respect like content creators who literally go down the fucking right-wing pipeline, but then they stop themselves personally and they're like, you know what the fuck is going on? This is wrong. And literally take a hit and change their attitude, change their behavior, change their minds. I really always respect that. Ethan is a great example of this.
Ethan Klein, the guy who encouraged...
Wait, what does that have to do with you? Hassan was just talking about people who were moving to the right, but then stopped and went over to the left. What does that have to do with you? You haven't done that.
Multiple acts of terrorism during a stream?
Yeah, what does that have to do with any... Wait, think before you sleep. What are these disconnected ideas that you're trying to juggle here? This headline, first of all, again, headline brain. This has nothing to do with what Hassan was just talking about. Like, literally no relationship whatsoever. Hassan was just talking about people who are moving to the right going to the left. What does that have to do with you at all?
Wow, this stream from Hassan did not age well. Like it didn't even take...
How did it... Wait, no. I really don't think Hassan cares. What?
a month for it to age poorly. That gaffe from Ethan was not too hard to predict.
Wait, what point does Think Before You Sleep think that he's making here? What juxtaposition does he think there is between Hassan saying that Ethan Klein moved from the right to the left and Ethan Klein talking about bombing an NRA building? There's no relation. Like, Think Before You Sleep. I don't think you're dishonest at all. I just don't think you're as smart as you think you are. Think about the statements that you've made here. There's no relationship between these statements. They're completely disconnected. Like, I don't know if you're trying to dishonestly manufacture a point where there is none, or you just are sort of grasping, but like, there's nothing here.
Though, he's done a lot of bad stuff over the past 2 years. By the way, let's have Hassan...
Hassan didn't say he hasn't done bad stuff. Hassan only said that he was moving to the right, and then he stopped and moved to the left. That's it. That's the only thing that Hassan said. It's something that you haven't done, so that's why there's a difference in treatment between you and Ethan Klein.
Clarify what he means by the right-wing pipeline.
That is where I started when I was watching online content creators, which led to GRE, Jordan Peterson, Shapiro, etc. I used to listen to these people 5 hours a day. Glad I'm not listening to them anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is how that works. I mean, that's you go down that fucking pipeline. You're looking for advice.
I wanted to be charitable by saying he is just talking about the very small portion of people who are on the alt-right, but he literally just said you are a bad person for listening to regular conservatives that at least half the country would agree with.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, yeah. Hassan would not shy away from admitting that.
By the way, Joe Rogan is on the left, not the right.
He was cucking out for Ron DeSantis like a week ago. Okay. Oh my god. I feel like if I tried... I feel like if I ever had this guy on for a conversation, it would be one of those things where you have to spend an hour building up the groundwork before you can even talk about anything, you know? It's like, it'd be like trying to have a boxing match with somebody when there's no ring. So you have to like build the ring with them first. Like you're getting like the tight ropes and you're like trying to like pull them over the posts in the end. And, you know, and like, like you can't even get to the fight. Remember my conversation with What If Alt History, which stalled on him believing there was no ideological relationship between abolitionism and the civil rights movement? We just couldn't move on from that. Dude, debates are so dumb. I miss back when debating was fun, man. Debating is not fun anymore. I want debating to be fun, but it's so fucking hard. It's so difficult. I just feel like so much debating is just retard wrangling. Like I want to get back to it, but so much of it is just like people like it's just maybe I just have to try harder. I don't know. Maybe I just have to work harder. Maybe I just have to like just email spam. Just like fuck it, we're doing 18 debates today and like one of the 18 will be good, you know? Yeah, maybe I should do that. Yeah. Yeah, I should probably do that. I just need to like yeah. Are you in the Saitama mental stage of debating? No, it's not even that. It's just like, the problem is like at the end of the day, like debate is just a rhetorical tool for delivering ideas. And a lot of this stuff doesn't need to be debated. With conservatives, I'm objectively right on every, there's no position they could win a debate with me on because they're so out of reality now. If we were having debates over stuff like tax policy or zoning codes or like a whole bunch of infrastructural stuff or economic issues, like I could lose debates like that. There's a lot of complicated shit there, you know? But nowadays conservatives are all on like the, well, being trans means that you're a Satan who wants to kill all children, and the data shows that every trans surgery leads to 100 dead babies. And it's like, what the f am I supposed to do here? But like it's not all like that. Yeah, it's not all like that. Yeah, I just need to get back into it, yeah. Keep pressing for Peterson. Dude, we got to get Peterson. We got to talk to my oomphy. We got to look over Kyle Klinsky's convo. Okay, guys, like, be real. If I convincingly flirted in like a veiled, dishonest way with Jordan Peterson, how good would that shit look in like the congressional records, the ledgers of history, you know? Like the JLP tier, you know, like, oh, I'm not flirting type deal. Maybe I can get him to come out.
Right. I've listened to him for almost a decade, and he has promoted all sorts of left-wing policies during that time period. In fact, I remember an episode where he sat down with your Uncle Cenk as a friend. I wonder what happened to that.
Well, it's a good thing he's never sat down with any right-leaning figures, or this one example of him sitting down with a left-leaning person of the hundreds and hundreds of people he sat down with. What argument is there supposed to be here? Everyone knows that Joe Rogan will just repeat the last position that he heard. Like, the fact that he sat down with and talked to left-leaning people, expressed left-leaning ideas, this isn't, like... Everyone knows this.
So, I mean, I don't know if you ever heard the story, but like the reason I left MSNBC is I got a speech from the head of the network, Phil Griffin, who said I was...
Also, look at how old of a video this is. Like, look at the video footage and everything. And the camera position where the table is. This is an old fucking video. Why do we have to go back this far?
Just in Washington, they're not happy with your tone. And we're the establishment here, and you got to start acting like it.
Whoa.
Isn't that amazing?
It's not just amazing. It's like a scene in a movie.
And I'm on there from January to April. Okay, at that point, April, I get the speech, and I think to myself, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
This whole thing is messed up. People aren't bad just because they have conservative beliefs. And
sure they are. Wait, why do you not think that? What do you think being bad is? Being bad means holding certain normative positions. Doing bad things means that you do things that have negative consequences on the world. What about this is difficult?
people aren't bad just because they're on the left. So stop.
Well, if you have moral positions that are incompatible with the prescriptions of leftism, then yes, being on the left would make you bad. Or to be more specific, being on the left would mean you're aligned with a political ideology that would be associated with conducting acts that would have bad outcomes in a consequentialist sense. Now, obviously, those aren't my moral positions, but that is what morals are. Yeah, having a set of political beliefs is a template for whether or not the things you want to happen are going to be bad or good in other people's moral frameworks. So yeah, being like saying a person isn't bad just for having a political ideology, like that's ridiculous. Would you say that about the Nazis? Like, people aren't bad just because they're Nazis. Like, what do you mean? Like, obviously.
Disparaging and mischaracterizing the other side like that. Stop saying the ends justify the means and doing whatever it takes to win with no consideration to all the destruction you cause to achieve that goal.
What the fuck is he talking about? What destruction are we referring to? What? Not pre-watching his videos? This is headline brain again. Remember? This is the categorical inability to treat any issue that is bad like it's not apocalyptic. Everything that he doesn't like has to be, schizo rambled about, like it's a Jordan Peterson bit.
Whoever wins this battle, when you come home, you still have to live next to the losers. Do you want to live next to a bunch of losers you hate and despise? Or would you rather be in a place where you can challenge a disagreeing party to a battle of ideas, where both of you come out stronger by the end of it, instead of hating?
Why would I want the other person to come out stronger? Wait, what is he? This is, oh my god, it's such headline brain, dude. He hasn't thought about any of these things. He just has, like, euphemisms and slogans and catchphrases stuck in his head. He hasn't thought about any of this. What do you mean? Wait, if people, would you say this about any kind of immorality? Like, you don't want the rapists and murderers around you to hate you at the end of the day. You want to debate them so that at the end of the day, you and the rapists and murderers can be equally strong. What are you talking about? What moral, what does this guy think morals are? I have no idea. I wish I could ask him, man. Fuck. God.
Each other's guts. I don't know how many of you have experienced something like that, but those kinds of conversations are incredibly fun. And we also have a lot of evidence that they're entertaining to people.
That's the standard we're using? Treating bad and good things as equal and just debating them for funsies is good because it's entertaining? Well, okay.
I would argue that they're more entertaining than the mudslinging debates that we're used to, because Jubilee's Middle Ground and Steven Crowder's Change My Mind segments do extremely well. But we don't get good conversations like...
Wait, does this guy not think the Change My Mind segments are mudslinging? Okay.
Steven Crowder's Change My Mind segments do extremely well. But we don't get good conversations like that if we continue this...
Well, also, what good convos? Both of those convos are retard shuffles. Steven Crowder projects an aura of low IQ around him. He goes out there with media training and a couple of pre-memorized bullet points, then finds anyone off the street, and surprise, surprise, average people off the street aren't that good at debating media-trained hosts that have like tens of millions of views every single month, who have specifically memorized talking points associated with the issue that they're being debated on, and the Jubilee changed my the Jubilee segments are just like informational snippets. Very rarely do they get even to the meat of the conversation. Middle ground, thank you, middle ground.
Stupid political debate meta where everyone who is not on your side is evil, while people like Hassan and Vosh wildly mischaracterize their opponents. And they get away with stuff like that because there are a ton of people out there who believe it's okay.
Did he ever catch me on a single mischaracterization, by the way? The only thing he said was, at one point I said that his audience hates women, and he showed that there were women in his audience. And then he was like, well, you think I want to repeal the 19th, when I never said that? He didn't actually catch me on a single mischaracterization. He only caught me on the fact that I don't literally have precognitive abilities, because I don't pre-watch.
Who are propping those creators up. So the solution is what it always is, which is to fix things at the individual level. You don't want to be mischaracterized or name-called? Then don't do those things to other people. You want people to listen to you and take your ideas into consideration? Then you must do that for them first. If you want people to be empathetic, then you have to show empathy. Be the change you want to see in other people. It's an old cliche, but it's repeated a lot because it's true. Anyway, thanks for watching.
This was a phenomenally stupid video. Sorry, think before you sleep, before anything can be settled, and I know you're going to watch this, before anything can be settled, like, what do you think morals are? I don't think you understand, like, this is like the ultimate liberal detachment from politics being framed through a conservative lens here. The idea that, like, political differences are just like having favorite foods or colors. Completely meaningless aesthetic differences that have no inherent moral bias one way or another. What does he think that about, like, not? I bet he thinks that Nazi. I legitimately think he probably believes that Nazi isn't like a political ideology. He probably thinks that political ideologies are one. Wait, no. Okay, I don't even get this. Earlier in the video, he was saying he doesn't like feminism or leftism because they're destroying the world or whatever. Then how can he not think that feminists or leftists are doing bad things? Does he think that being a bad person and being a person who does bad things are different things? He might believe that, but he didn't clarify that if that's the case. My guess is that his beliefs are just entirely incoherent, and talking with him would probably elucidate nothing. That's my best guess. My best guess is probably that if I had a conversation with him, I would leave as confused about his beliefs as I entered the conversation feeling, and he probably wouldn't know anything more either. He would leave the conversation feeling incredibly indignant that I had treated him unfairly by asking him basic questions about his ideology. Now, I don't think he's dishonest at all, Happy Nar. I think he's completely honest. I think he's 100% sincere in all the stuff that he says. I just think that his brain is very special. I think he's got a special brain, you know? I think he's a special boy. You should debate an enlightened centrist. Is it like really conceited of me to be partially tired of debate because I've heard it all before? I don't mind repeated debates on subjects where everyone's got their feet planted, but oftentimes when you're debating people's misconceptions about the fundamentals, it's like so basic. The idea of like, oh, well, if we just got along and debated everything in the marketplace of ideas, in an environment where Republicans are screeching about like the election being stolen and how like all trans people are and how they're trying to like completely subvert the courts, you know? It's just such a it feels like willful ignorance. I can't help but feel, I can't shake the feeling that I'm being made fun of a little bit, like or that I'm being denigrated even by participating in the conversation. Like even dignifying arguments like those by acknowledging them or listening to them or responding to them feels like a kind of personal insult. A circus act? Yeah, it's like a debate. It's like a debate where the only way I can participate is if I have to put the clown makeup on and like get on the trapeze as well. Yeah, it does suck so many people like believe that though, you know?